Communications IQ. All right, well, without further ado, I would love to introduce our special speaker for tonight. We have Terry Sullivan, who is the founder of BuzzPro, which is a nationally recognized digital marketing and social selling training company that helps companies and professionals get better results with LinkedIn. Terry shows his clients how to fill their sales funnels with better leads, schedule more appointments, and close more sales using advanced LinkedIn branding and advanced social selling strategies. Widely considered to be the guru of LinkedIn, there's a good title for you. Terry gives more than 100 training presentations a year and has trained more than 17,000 clients across the nation on how to create a unique online brand that gets results. His inspiring training programs focus on keyword optimization, branding, and social selling strategies that help his clients tap into the unlimited world of social media to get better leads, more prospects, and clients. So in today's presentation, Terry will walk you through the key branding and social selling strategies, tips, and secrets that you need to create a well-branded LinkedIn profile that gets results. So welcome, Terry. We will turn over the floor to you.
Well, thank you, Allison, and thank you so much, Rich, for inviting me. I'm just so honored to be here, and thank you, team. I'm really excited. Communications IQ, what a great, amazing strategy and concept, and congratulations to Tyson T-shirts. I know the book is out, and I'll give you guys some tips on how you might want to help promote the communication strategies that are in that book to help bridge that gap between some of the millennials and some of the other folks in the work environment. But such an honor to be here. And so hopefully you can see my screen, correct, Allison? Yes, I hope. Okay, good. So my name is Terry Sullivan, and thank you for that very warm introduction. And again, Rich, thank you for inviting me. I'm so honored to be here. I give over 100 presentations around the country. Last year with COVID, it was over 150. I'm currently working with Nike out of Portland, and I'm also working with Toyota up in Plano, and just finished up with Larry Levine, the founder of Chili's Restaurants, for those of you who like chili. So I really, really love what I'm doing. Been doing it for, roughly 9 years, going on 10 years, and absolutely love what I do. These are some of the clients that I'm working with now and have worked with last year. So it was a very good year for me, and I'm so very honored to be here with you guys. But here's the 4 things that I'm going to cover today. Number 1, with LinkedIn, there's so many social media streams out there, but really LinkedIn is the premier stream for B2B kind of marketing and B2B networking and what have you. But the 4 things I'm going to talk about today are you have to have a search optimized profile, and pretty much everything that I'm going to talk about today, it covers SEO, search engine optimization, and I'll talk a lot more about that, give you a lot of tips. And then we're also going to talk, I'm also going to talk a lot about branding, and your brand is all about who you are, what you do, and how you can help, right? It's not a title, right? It's all about, what differentiates you as a professional and how do you help others. And then thirdly, I'm going to talk to you about using LinkedIn in just 15 at the most 30 minutes a day. You don't want to spend a lot of time. Here I am, a LinkedIn trainer, right, Allison? But I'm telling you, you don't want to spend a lot of time on this because nothing really happens until you take your online discussion offline. That's where the real magic happens, as you guys know, because you're communication experts. But really, LinkedIn's a great place to find people. I'm going to show you how to do that, to find professionals, to warm up that conversation with some emails back and forth, and then, and some messaging. But then ultimately, you want to pick up the phone and call them. And as a matter of fact, I'm going to talk to you about a very successful strategy that I've implemented and that I train people on, called my 25, 15, and 10 social selling strategy. So during that 15 minutes or so, here's what I'm going to give you some, a 5-step process on what you can do to find professionals, to connect with them and build that trust and rapport so you can ultimately take your online discussion offline. So why is social media, why is so important? And you're going to hear me talking about social selling too in just a second here, but why is social media so important? Well, this is Maslow's hierarchy of needs, and right in the middle of that triangle, Allison, is the need to be social. And as a result, all of these third-party applications are popping up. There's new ones all the time. TikTok, you get, my 2 millennials, they love TikTok, right? So they're new, applications popping up all the time. And as a matter of fact, during COVID, LinkedIn has changed their application, made it much better, much more functional. I just love the new look and feel. I'm going to give you, a lot of tips and strategies in terms of what LinkedIn did during COVID from a programming perspective and some of the things that you can do to really get your brand out there. Every second, if you're not using LinkedIn to connect with people and promote your brand and start having conversations with people, you got to get on it, because every second, click, there's 2 new users signing up for LinkedIn. You can see the growth rate here. It looks like a rocket ship taking off here, right? But you can see that there's over 760 million users worldwide. There's going to be a billion users, right, worldwide in next year or so. And it's just, it's the first place that people go to find, to validate your brand, right? It's, you know, so what you tell people about who you are, what you do, and how you can help, you want to make sure that your offline brand, right? That's what your offline brand is the same as your online brand. And I'm going to go real deep into that topic here. The reason people use LinkedIn is the same reason that people we use these little things, it's called digital phones, you know, that are in our purses, in our pockets, but we're trying to eliminate risk, right? So I use my phone today to find a place to go take a client out to eat lunch today, right? So that's what people are using LinkedIn for, to reduce, to reduce the risk. So just as a, if you're taking notes, and I highly recommend that you do, you want to make sure that your offline brand, that is what you say about who you are, what you do, and how you can help, matches your online brand. If there's some differences there, people, you want to make sure that it's the same, right? Your brand needs to be consistent, if you will, from platform to platform, from online to offline. Needs to be the same kind of thing. But before I talk much more about branding, let me give you 2 bits of advice. You guys have to have a great brand, but at the same time, you have to protect your brand, right? Protect your brand. So there's a couple things I want you to remember here. And I'm just going to go ahead and go into my LinkedIn profile so you can see this. But one thing you want to do for sure is you want to shut off a couple of your privacy settings, right? So you click on the Me tab here and you click on Settings and Privacy, right? Not too bad. And then you come up here under Account Preferences and see where it says Viewers of this profile also viewed. Write this down, right? You want to make sure this is an off, right? If this feature, viewers of this profile also viewed, is turned on, then there will be 10 people when I land on your profile and I'm a prospect or I'm a good potential contact for you, and I go to your profile. If this feature is turned on, there will be 10 people just like you, right? There's no one just like you, but what I'm saying is that there will be 10 competitors on your profile page. Make this a no, and I would highly recommend that you make it a no and leave it off all the time, right? And the other one I want you to shut off is this one right here, where it says share job changes. I know you guys aren't looking for a job, so go ahead, even more reason to shut this feature off, right? But if you make changes, right, to your profile and this feature is turned on, it's very likely that an algorithm will kick in and reach out to your first level connects. And let me just tell you what happened with my wife, right? I'll give you a personal story. My wife used to be a big social media marketing manager, and this feature was turned on. I was in her profile a few years back. And I made a change to the title of her job, right? And she was a social media marketing manager. And this feature was turned on, right, Allison? And so what happened was all 2,800 of her first level connects got a message algorithmically generated wanting to know if they should congratulate her for her new job. She wasn't looking for a new job. And, so all of her peers at her company said, what's going on? And her boss called her in her office and she didn't talk to me, Allison, for 2 days. So needless to say, every time I give a presentation, you want to make sure this yes is a no. Share job changes, turn that off and leave it off. I'm going to show you, how you can get in front of your clients, especially with, the new, ties and t-shirts book. You've got some really good ammunition to get out in front of your audiences, right, without having to let them know that you've changed jobs, right? So don't do this. So make sure that's shut off. All right. So the other thing is that you want to set yourself some goals, right? Write this down, please. Yes.
Terry,
yes?
Sorry, this is Danielle. I'm sorry to interrupt. I talk quite quick, but you talk really fast. Could you?
Yeah, I'm a fast talker. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, could you please repeat? It took me a little second to get into LinkedIn. I got the visibility, the one you did, but remind me of the first one that you said to turn off.
Sure. And what I would suggest you do, because I do talk fast and I want to cover a lot of stuff tonight, rather than try to make these changes on this call, take notes, and then I'll also connect with me on LinkedIn, and I'll send you a copy of my LinkedIn tips document, which details step by step everything I'm showing you tonight. But let me go ahead and just to answer answer your question because I did, to your point, I went pretty fast there. But again, take good notes, sign up for, connect with me. I'll send you my LinkedIn tips, and I promise you. And if you have any questions, you write this number down. You ready? 682-208-1111. And if you have any questions that you can't find answers to, you call me, okay? And that's not going to cost you a thing. So the first thing you want to do is click on the Me tab at the very top of your profile. And then you want to go into settings and privacy. And then you go to account preferences here, and then viewers of this profile also viewed is under account preferences. And then the other one is under, let me see, what is it? Other visibility, and you just scroll down and you'll see it'll say under visibility of your LinkedIn activity job share changes, all right, or share job changes. So again, I'm going to detail all this in my LinkedIn tips document. I want you to get the strategies down for sure, but please don't make the changes during this call because I promise you'll miss a whole bunch because I do talk fast. So then also the other thing you want to do is you want to, and by the way, if you guys would hold off and write your questions down, put your questions in the chat box, and I'm going to break it 3 different times to answer your question, so I can just kind of get through the content, and then I'll take a breath, and I've got a drink of water here, and I'll answer your questions at 3 separate times. All right. So and then in terms of your goal, set yourself a goal. You should be getting 3 to 5 profile views per day, Danielle. You should set yourself a goal, and the way you can see that is by you come over here to your home page, and where it says who's viewed your profile, right? You want to click on that. That's a link. And you can see here that I have just over 1,500 people who have looked at my profile in the last 90 days or so. And so you can, this is with the a paid version of LinkedIn, or you can, this is what the free version looks like. So you can see the last 5 people who have looked at your profile, right? And over what period of time, over the last couple of hours, right? So you really want to make sure that you're getting 3 to 5 profile views a day. If you do have a paid version of LinkedIn, you can just highlight this little circle right here. It'll show you the total number of views for the week. And then you can divide that by 5, right, to get your run rate. Just to let you know, I worked with a CEO a few weeks ago, and I looked at his stats here, and he had one person that had looked at his profile in the last 90 days, and that one person was me, right? So he had 0 visibility. So make sure you're getting 3 to 5 profile views a day. It's the whole idea there. So what's a brand? And you're going to hear me, I've said it a couple times, but I'm going to say it again, super important. Your brand is all about who you are, what you do, and how you can help, right, Rich? So it's not, it's not a title. Yeah, you can put your title in your branding headline space. It's up at the top of your profile there. But really, you want to tell people right at the very top, and it's also seen when people do searches and find you, right? You can see that branding headline. But you also want to tell people, just who you are and what you do and how you can help. And, I'll just show you mine real quick. So you can see here, if I go back to my profile, view Terry's profile, and I'll give you some other examples as well. But if you land on my profile, you can see that I'm all about digital, digital sales and marketing, social selling, and keynote speaker and trainer and that kind of thing. But I'll give you some other examples here in just a second here. But the other thing I want to tell you is I promised I would tell you guys some of the things that have changed, right, during COVID. But right here, you can see this is my branding headline. And for years, for the last 10 years anyways, that I can recall, you got 120 characters to tell people who you were, what you did, and how you could help, right? And so on October 23rd, they changed several things. LinkedIn did, Microsoft did, who owns LinkedIn. But now you can have up to 220 characters. So they increased it by 100 characters. Other than your name and your photo, your branding headline is the most important aspect of your brand, right? That's going to be a big determinant whether people are going to want to continue on to read more about you, right? So I would suggest, and I'm going to give you show you some examples. And again, connect with me and I'll send you my LinkedIn tips that shows you how to create a brand, gives you lots more examples. But you really want to stay away from a title-only name, right? A title's not a brand, it's just a title, right? So tell people what's different about you. And then also make sure that you complete your contact section right here. You can see if you click on it, and I want to show, this is really important. So I'm just going to show you how to do this. This is, if you click on contact info right here and in your LinkedIn profile, right? This is all the stuff you want to make sure that you complete. So make sure that you have a link to your profile, your website, and if you have a website, and then make sure you make it real easy for people to pick up the phone and call you. If you don't want to include your cell phone number, you can get a free Google number and point it to your cell number. I can show you how to, I can send you the steps on how to do that. They're free. But certainly make it real easy for people to get in touch with you. That's super, super important. And then the other thing which I want to tell you is make sure that this is called a vanity URL, okay? And so you want to make sure that you change your vanity URL to your first and last name as much as, if that's possible. And what I mean by that is when you first create a LinkedIn brand, a LinkedIn profile, you get something like that. This is your website address for LinkedIn, right? You get a hyphen between your first and last name plus a bunch of characters at the end. That destroys the ability for people to find you with searches, right? For your #1 searchable term, which is your first and last name. So watch what I'm going to do here. So here's how you do it. And again, I can send you the steps or write them down. But step 1 is you click on contact info. Here it comes, right? And then step 2 is you click on this little pencil with an eraser, right? And then this little box pops up, and this is where you put all your information in there, right? All the details about how to get in touch with you. And then the third step is you click on this little link right here with that little arrow. Now this takes you to this page, and like magic, here it is over here on the right, edit your custom URL, which I call a vanity URL. And you just click on that little pencil right there, and you can change this. If your first and the last name is not available, I would prefer that you put something at the end rather than using any special characters. A lot of my engineers that I work with, they like to use underscores. Well, I don't even know where the underscore key is on my keyboard, right? So, no special characters in between your first and last name, and then put something at the end if your name's not available. I put MBA, you can put something, a birth date, what have you. And that'll help you really do a lot better job in terms of being found for your #1 searchable term. Okay, and that's called a vanity URL. So write that down. This is your up here. These are all the branding elements of your LinkedIn profile. So make sure you have a brand that tells people who you are, what you do, and how you can help, and update your contact info section with all those important details with how people can get in touch with you. Now, if you're taking notes, write this one down. This is secret weapon #1, and there's a free version of it called Canva, CANVA.com, canva.com. And Canva is just really an amazing tool that allows you to create banner images, right? And other kind of imagery, right? So it's free. So like this was my banner image that you guys saw in my profile, and I created this in less than a minute, right? And so you can just create a canva.com account. On the left-hand side here, you'll see, you can say, I create a LinkedIn banner, right? And there'll be hundreds of examples you can click on and bring it in and edit to your heart's content. So canva.com, you can go to my website, buzzpro.com, and click on the resources tab. There's a lot more information about Canva if you'd like, but it's a really, really great application, and it is free, okay? All right, so let's just stay on this right here. All right, so here's some examples of some of my clients. So this is Lisa Woodard, and she's an attorney, and she's also chief marketing officer. And you can see out in California with Transamerica, one of my clients, but you can see chief marketing officer, sales and marketing leader, business transformation, revenue growth. And Danielle, we have Tough Mudder, right? And so I talked to her before I created her profile, and she's a competitor. She competes in Tough Mudder events, which is like a triathlon in the mud. So I put it in her profile, and she said, Terry, you're not going to put that in there. That's something personal. I said, oh, yes, I am. And she said, no, you're not. And I said, yes, I am. And so I won. And so she calls me a couple times a year to thank me for doing that, because she loves it, because it helps her create a conversation with people, right? It is a social media platform. So don't be afraid to put something a little bit personal about yourself. It's not like Facebook or Twitter or what have you, but it is certainly a social media platform that you can put something, if it applies to your business and what you do. Maybe you like to climb mountains, or you're a mountain biker, I mean? Use a banner image that has a story, so whether that's a great picture of you working with a client or clients, or maybe you're a jogger or what have you. Just put, you want to have a banner image that tells a story, and also your branding headline needs to tell people more about who you are, what you do, and how you can help. This is Charles Humbert, and he is the CEO and founder of Up TV out in Atlanta. And his father was Rex Humbert, the first televangelist. Really interesting man. But you can see here his brand is, founder and CEO of Up TV, which stands for Uplifting TV. It's the #1 family content provider on the internet, and then also on cable as well. And so you can see his keywords that I've used here: creativity and innovation, entrepreneur, strategic planning, and then operational excellence. And so originally when I worked with, Charlie, he said, "Hey, I just want to say I'm a CEO of this company." And I said, "No, we're going to tell him more about what you're good at." And so that helps him tell his story right before they, it helps people understand more about his brand before they even have an opportunity to meet him in person. And then this is Nigel Thurlow. And Nigel's from England, and he's the Chief Agile Officer over at Toyota here in Plano, or near Plano. And so here you can see his brand, CEO of Flow Consortium. You guys have all heard of, maybe you've heard of Lean Six Sigma. It's a big operational kind of thing. Allison, you're the COO, so I'm sure, you may have heard of that, or maybe even certified in Lean Six Sigma. But there's a new process out that's going to be new certification called Flow, and he invented it. He's a really neat guy. But you can see here, CEO Flow Consortium, and you can see he's a Scrum Master. So within seconds, you can tell who Nigel is, what he does, and how he can help. So again, I told you guys that your brand needs to be consistent from offline to online, and then it also needs to be consistent from platform to platform to platform. So you really want to make sure that whether I'm talking to you in person or I go to one of your, if you have a Facebook business page or what have you, or certainly a LinkedIn company page or LinkedIn profile, that your brand is consistent. I like to use the same banner image, the same photo, and as much of the branding headline that I have in LinkedIn as possible on my other social media platforms. And just a couple other things here before I take a break and take some questions from you guys. Your summary section, you guys are not applying for jobs, right? So what you want to do in your summary section is write your summary section in first person, right? First person, right, Rich? So you want to pretend as if you're sitting across from Rich, and Rich goes, "Hey, Allison, what do you do for a living?" Right? And that's kind of, you want to have that conversation, right? With and start building that trust and rapport. A lot of people think that LinkedIn is a great place to find a job, which it is, but what they don't realize when it comes to B2B, it's the #1 networking application on the internet, right? So start building that trust and rapport right away. Write your summary section in first person. Your first paragraph should just be a little bit more about who you are, what you do, and how you can help. I like to have a couple sentences, which also serve as my 10-second elevator speech. Remember, what you say offline is the same thing you want to say online about who you are, what you do, and how you can help, right? In the center, tell people a little bit more about what you're all about, what the 7 life languages are all about, and what you guys, and maybe even tell them a little bit more about the ties and t-shirts book that's coming out, right, Allison? I mean, why not? And so, try to grab their attention. But what I like to do to grab their attention is I like to have a Q&A. So a couple questions for them, and where they can answer, yeah, I need to talk to Terry, right? So grab their attention with the center portion of your brand. And again, when you connect with me, Danielle, and I'll send you a copy of my LinkedIn tips, there's step-by-step how to do this, as well as some examples as well. But the most important thing I can tell you about your summary section is make sure at the very end you create a CTA. And Jenny, what that is, it's called a call to action, okay? And so you never, ever, ever sell on LinkedIn, but what you want to do is guide people, right? You want to guide people to go to your website, guide people to connect with you on LinkedIn, guide people to ultimately, buy the Ties and T-shirts book, or ultimately pick up the phone and call you, right? So you never sell, but you do try to guide people to, continue that communication with you. All right, so include a CTA at the end. So in terms of my experience section, again, you guys are not applying for jobs. You don't want to talk about how at your last company, these are all the things you accomplished. You really want to speak to your audience, right? And you want to talk about what your company does, what you do as a professional, how you can help, as a consultant, what you guys can specifically do for companies looking for communication opportunities and guidance. I like to have not 1, but 2 CTAs in here, right? So I like to have, tell them, hey, check out my website, as well as pick up the phone and call me. All right. And then a couple more things here. And I'm just going to go ahead and go into my profile so you can see this. But the other thing I want to tell you is in your profile, if you scroll down to the bottom, right, and you go past education, you'll see this section right here called skills and endorsements. Okay, called skills and endorsements. So a few things a couple suggestions I want to give you here is number one, this is a major search engine optimization area. Remember, so I promised you guys I would tell you a lot about SEO, right? And how you might be able to make your profile more findable. But search engine optimization is all about people putting in keywords in a Google search, Bing or Yahoo search, or in a LinkedIn search, and they find you, right? So you want to make sure, write this down if you're taking notes, is that you want to max out your skills section, max this section out, skills and endorsements section with 50 terms, that's 50, right? And use words that are strategic to your brand, right? So, stay away from words like management all by itself. It's like, okay, what is that? Or leadership by itself, or like my CFOs, in many cases, they'll say, "Oh my goodness, I've got to make a big deal about Microsoft Excel." And in that case, I'll say, well, name one person who's not in your finance and accounting world who's not using Excel in a big way, right? So use words that are strategic to your brand. You can see like these are my top 3, right? And this section is collapsible, right? So when people look at your profile, they're going to see just 3 terms here. So I like to move these 3 terms to the top. And why is that important? Check this out, Allison. So if I click on brand development, you can see I have over 1,000, endorsements for that skill. So that means, Rich, I'm going to be more searchable for the term, brand development than someone who has 10 endorsements for that term. So move, max the 2 bits of advice I have for you are max this skill section out with 50 terms, and then reposition your top 3 terms to the top. Okay, so you get more endorsements for it. And then the last thing I want to tell you is just, get a couple of recent recommendations from your clients, highly recommended. You don't need over 300, but you have to have at least 2. And it'd be great if you could get them from 2021 or 2020. What you don't want is to have like a couple of recommendations here from 10 years ago, because it makes it look like you're not being very active on LinkedIn. So just a couple of recommendations from people. And if you guys reach out to me and just say, hey, send me your recommendation and your endorsements templates, I'll be happy to connect with me, and then I can send those to you. It's not going to cost you anything, but I'd be glad to send those to you. But I actually have written some templates you can use to reach out and connect or request not only recommendations, but also some endorsements. I'd be happy to send that to you. So that's pretty much it. I'm going to take a breather here. What questions do you guys have? Allison, are there any questions in the chat box that you can share with me?
Not that I'm currently seeing. I think everybody's too busily taking notes as you're talking.
Okay. All right. If you guys have any questions, just write them down, and I'll have a couple other places where I'm going to take a break here. I'll take a breath, right, Allison? And I'll take some more questions. Thank you. All right. The other thing is that with LinkedIn, like I said, you don't want to be on LinkedIn a whole bunch, right? I'm a LinkedIn trainer, right? Jenny, but as soon as possible, you want to take your online discussion offline. You want to get off of LinkedIn. A lot of people play on it for hours, and it can be a big waste of time and very all-consuming, right? So what you really want to do is as soon as possible, you want to take your online discussion offline. And so what you want to do, the way you can do that is just set yourself a goal. Try to not spend more than 15 at the most, Susan, 15 to at the most 30 minutes a day on LinkedIn, right? A lot of people will spend hours on it, and it's a lot of fun to play with. And initially to set it up, it takes some time, but even me, I've used it for many years. I'm not on here more than 10, 15 minutes a day. Sometimes I go a little bit longer for one reason or another, but for the most part, I don't, and I'm going to show you how to do it. But one of the things you want to do during that 15 to 30 minutes a day, Jimmy, is make sure that you get rid of the red. You see that right here? Get rid of the red. So you're like, Terry, how do I do that? So let me go into my profile, and you can see I have some red up here, right, Carolyn? You can see that red dot with a white dot inside, and then my network, there's a 2 there, etc. So if I click on this home page, for example, a home link, I should say, look what happened to the red dot. It disappeared, right? Or if I click on my network, it disappears. So it just is a nice reminder that, hey, here's some folks here, Danielle. Thank you for reaching out and sending me a connection request, Danielle. So what this allows me to do is say, hey, I've got to go to this area on my LinkedIn profile and do something, okay? So there's 6 tabs up here, Susan, and you want to start at the home tab. And so let me just tell you something. This is really, I always get the questions, well, what do I do on that home tab? So if you're taking notes, please write this down. On LinkedIn, during that 15 to 30 minutes, you want to like, comment, or share. You want to like, comment, or share on 3 to 5 posts per day during that 15 minutes. So here, you can see this is Karen Chamay. I know her well. I can like on her comment. I can click on one of the emojis to put some, emotions behind it. I can comment on it, or I can share it. The whole idea is that you guys want to show that you're subject matter experts and start helping your community rather than selling. You want to start showing your community how you can help them. So the point is that you want to like, comment, or share on 3 to 5 posts per day, Monday through Friday. Okay, that's all. And then once a week, no more than once a week, you want to curate an article. That's CURATE. You want to bring in an article from outside of LinkedIn, and this would be great. Go to the Communications IQ website, and there's going to be some articles on blog articles that you guys can repurpose. And so here, let me just show you how to do this very quickly, right? So you can go to, I'll just show you, this is Feedly. Let me just go to my guy right here. So you can, when you can grab you can go to an article that you like online, right? And let me just show you rather than, let me do it live here. So I'm going to go to Feedly, and this is another secret weapon, feedly.com. This is a free application. And so I highly recommend that you guys set up a Feedly account. It's super, super fun and not too hard either. But Feedly is a news aggregator, Allison, and it allows you to source articles very, very, very quickly. And so let's say that I wanted to find an article on social media, and the reason people don't curate articles or don't repurpose articles because it takes them a long time to find an article that they like. So really, you can use Feedly to find an article within 30 seconds, right? So let's just say this is Neil Schaefer. He's a big influencer, friend of mine out of California. But let's say I can, here's his post that he's recently created on his website. And 59 statistics I need to believe. And what's really cool about Feedly is that it gives me a very simple overview, a 1-paragraph overview, right? And if I like it, I can click on the title, right? And here's the actual article. There's Mr. Neil. And I can copy the URL. Again, these details are in my information that I can send you when you connect with me on LinkedIn. And then I can go back into LinkedIn. I can go in my newsfeed right here, right? And click on start a post, right, Allison? And watch this. You paste that URL in there, right? And count to 3, right? 1, 2, 3, and look like magic, it pops up. I like to delete that URL because it just takes up valuable, space on, where I can actually put comments in there rather than looking in that. They don't need the URL because they can click anywhere in the post to get to the article. But then I'm just, you can write some information about what the article means to you, right? And again, you can use the Communications IQ. You can go to your all's website, and I'm sure there's some great content there. But then write something about it after you post it here. And then I like to hit the enter key twice and put in 3 to 5 hashtags. And you're like, well, Terry, what's a hashtag? A hashtag just makes this article very, very searchable, right? So I could put in, hashtag. I could actually put in hashtag ties and teas, right? And that would be a hashtag that would help people find more information about the new book that's just come out, or hashtag Communications IQ, those kind of things. But a hashtag just looks like this, and I could say BuzzPro. I could put the name of my business in here, and it makes my company more searchable. But no spaces, just one word with a hashtag in front of it. Okay. All right, let me discard that. So like, comment, and share on 3 to 5 posts per day, right? Like, comment, and share on during that 15 minutes, right? You don't want to spend a lot of time on LinkedIn. And then once a week, not twice, but just once a week, curate an article that you can bring that into your news feed. And why is that important that you bring that article in? Just because you're going to be connected with a lot of people on LinkedIn, but they're not communications experts like you guys are. And so you have an opportunity to educate your audience by bringing in those articles that are not being posted in your news feed. The other thing is follow companies you want to do business with. Okay, so if there's a company out there you want to do business with, do a search for them. This is one of my clients, Connects, and they work with Fortune 500 companies. And you can read more about the company. You can actually reach out to people that work at that company that you're connected with. So follow companies where you would like to do business with. So before I go any further, are there any questions about kind of like that 15 to 20 minutes, what you would do during the 15 to 20 minutes? How do you posting strategy? Do you guys have any questions or thoughts or anything you'd like to share about posting in your newsfeed? And Allison, let me know if there's any questions, please. Thank you for your help.
Yes, we have a question in the chat from Rich about what is your opinion of the featured section and any recommendations on how often we should swap out the content in that section?
Okay, so Rich, tell me, what section is that, Rich?
It's the featured section. So if you look at my profile, you'll see the opening jazz that we always see on a LinkedIn profile. And then the next section down is featured.
Featured. Okay, and that's where you can showcase articles.
Showcase
and that kind of
some of the posts, right?
Yeah. Well, I think featured is a place where you can showcase posts that you've written or read, and I wonder if we can can we share your screen, Rich? Let's have some fun. You want to share your screen? Show us yours.
Absolutely.
Okay, I'm going to unshare mine.
Or if you just want to pull up my LinkedIn profile,
okay,
we
I
can
do that.
way. Yeah, that's easier.
Okay, tell us what you did, right?
Sure.
Okay, and Rich. Okay, where is your profile? Russo.
RICH.
Yep, I got it. No, I got it right here.
Okay.
It's RU.
Yep.
There you are. I just want to make sure I spelled it right. Okay. All right. Here's your highlights section.
Sure. Or sorry, not the highlights. Just below that, the featured.
Oh, right here. Yeah.
Right.
Go ahead.
I've clicked on a few of the posts that I've made and decided to feature them here, and just was curious. What do you think of this feature? How often should we rotate the content? What are your thoughts there, sir?
Yes, absolutely. I think that first of all, I think it's super important that you go to your news feed and like, comment, and share. I think that's super important. I think that it's super important that you bring in articles. Are these articles that you've written, Rich?
Yeah, let's see. So two of them, consultants on the phone will realize that's a little thing about some of the languages. And one of them was the press release for the Ties and T-Shirts book.
Yeah, gotcha. Very good. Well, I just think it's a fantastic section to showcase your work, especially if you're going to be creating your own original posts. I think it's fantastic. And I think that people for the most part have to go to your profile. So when you connect with people, they're going to check you out, and then it guides them through the post that you've created and takes them into your news feed. So especially if you're connecting with people on a regular basis, Rich, and they're checking out your profile, I think it's a great place to show your content and showcase it. And it's also a great place to showcase other things, right? Like you can put video in here, not only the articles that you're, so I think it's a great idea. And I see you're a big fan of it. You're doing a really good job with that. So nice job. Is there anything else you want to say about the featured section?
No, that was it. Thank you.
Yeah, for sure. Are there any other questions, Allison?
Not currently in the chat. Anybody else want to throw a question out there?
Okay. All right. It is late, right, Allison? For me listening to me. Okay. So the last thing I want to talk to you about is how do you use LinkedIn? You know, so many people are on LinkedIn and you know, they've got a profile and they're sitting back and waiting for something to happen. And you guys have heard me talk about social selling. And social selling is strategically different than social media. So social selling is all about finding, connecting, and developing relationships with your key contacts and prospects. So I'm going to get kind of deep on you here. So I've saved the best for last. And again, if you'd like me to send you more details on social selling, I have a whole write-up on this. It's separate from my LinkedIn tips. Just connect with me and say, hey, send me your details on social selling. I'd be happy to send that to you. But connect with me first so I can send you messages. But at any rate, social selling is different than social media. Social media is kind of like throwing a party, right, Jeffrey? If you're going to throw a party at your house, you want to invite the right people. You know, you want to have the right food, right, Edna? You want to make create a lot of fun, right? But the ultimate goal is to get people to come back to your next party, so to speak. But social selling is a little bit more deliberate. You know, social selling is a lot like going deep sea fishing. You know, so if you're going to go deep sea fishing, you want to make sure that you have the right boat, the right gear, the right tackle, and the ultimate goal is to land that fish, right? That's what social selling is all about. So it's a little bit different, a little bit more deliberate. And so there's really, I've come up with a process called my 25, 15, and 10 social selling strategy, okay? My 25, 15, and 10 social selling strategy. So here's how it works. Every day, you want to send out just 5 connection requests a day during that 15 minutes, right? So you want to get on LinkedIn. You want to do a Boolean search, which I'll walk you through in just a second here. You want to do a Boolean search and you want to find people that you can connect with. And you want to send out 5 connection requests a day, and you can change these numbers. If this is too much, you can send out 5 a week or 1 a week for that matter. But the whole idea is that you don't sit back and wait for people to connect with you on LinkedIn. You be proactive to find them and send them a connection request. So of those 5 connection requests that you send out a day, not everyone is going to connect with you, right? So you want to connect. Your goal is to connect with a certain number of people a week that you sent connection requests to. In this case, you want to connect with 15 of the 25 that you originally sent the connection requests to. And of the 15 that you sent the connection request to, the ultimate goal, as I mentioned earlier, is you want to take your online discussion offline. So nothing really happens. If you're looking for prospects, you want to start developing trust and rapport and that kind of thing. You ultimately want to have conversations with people over the phone or in person, right? So of those people that you connect with, you want to have a certain number of people that you're picking up the phone and conversing with or talking to. And so 2 a day would be a great number, a couple conversations a day. Again, you change these numbers to meet your needs, but the whole idea is that you send out a certain number of connections every week, that you connect with a certain amount of people, and that you pick up the phone and have some conversations. If you implement my 25, 15, and 10 social selling strategy in a month's time, you will have connected with 60 new contacts on LinkedIn, right? And you will have had 40 sales conversations, lots of conversations in a month's time, dramatically increasing the probability of you landing some new clients, right? So that's how that works. So let me just show you, that's the goal, right? So 25, 15, and 10, you get in the habit of sending out connection requests during that, 15 minutes, getting people to connect with you, and then you pick up the phone and call people, right? And you've warmed things up, which I'll show you, because you've connected with them on LinkedIn. They've seen your profile. You've sent a couple communications back and forth. But again, don't spend more than 15 minutes, at the most 30 minutes a day on this. So that's your goal, 25, 15, and 10. The social selling strategy is a 4-step strategy, really. And the first step, if you're not using Boolean operators, they're super, super fun. There's 5 of them, right? So there's and, or, and not. And these all help you reduce your search results, right? Refine your search results. And the first 3 have to be in all uppercase. So and needs to be in uppercase, or, A, capital N, capital D. Same thing with or and not. So open and close quotation marks go around multiple word terms, like director of marketing or chief operating officer, right? And then let me just give you an example of how that works. So this is my search bar up here. I've got a Google search bar up here. And you can see that I can do a search up here. And so let's just say that Allison, and Rich are going to come to Flower Mound, and I'm going to buy them lunch. And so I could ask them this. I'm going to do a Google search using Boolean, modifiers. I want to show you how this works. So I could, I ask what kind of food you want, and Allison said she likes Chinese food. All right, here we go. All right, Chinese food, or and Rich says I like Mexican food. I said, okay, let's see what I can find here. So that's Chinese or Mexican food. That or in uppercase is a Boolean operator. And then the word and, that's a Boolean operator. In quotation marks, the word Flower Mound. Okay, so I live in Flower Mound, Texas, right? So there's 3 Boolean operators. I'm doing a Google search. I want to show you how modifiers work. And you can see in the search results, here are the 10 best Chinese restaurants and 10 best Mexican restaurants in Flower Mound. So it helps me get a really good search result. And you're like, well, Terry, how does that apply to LinkedIn? Okay, I'll show you. So in LinkedIn, let's just say that you're looking for a COO, maybe you're looking for a CEO, right? Let's just try that. So let's just say that you're looking for a CEO, and there's a Boolean operator, right? Technology. Okay, not in quotation marks, oil and gas. I'm not picking on oil and gas, but I just don't want to focus on that niche. So there's 3 Boolean operators in there. There's and, not, right, and open and close quotation marks. That's 3. So let's see how I did. So then you can see the big universe of CEOs here. See, there's a bunch of them. And I can click on people so I can actually get the actual number. And you can see that there's a whole bunch. But now I want to focus on just those CEOs in technology, not in oil and gas, in the Dallas-Fort Worth market. So I can click on Dallas-Fort Worth in the locations dropdown. And now I'm down to 30,000. Now I really want to focus on those that I'm connected with on a first level basis. I want to call every one of them, right? I've already connected with them. And you can see I have about 1,000, right? So you can change this up. You can look for all kinds of titles. You can say COO, so if I'm looking for CEOs, you can see I've got 248. If I want to find maybe, someone else, maybe an HR director, right? So I could put HR director in quotation marks. All right. And there's 29, and I could, call every one of those guys, right? So the first step of the, 4-step process is you want to use Boolean operators to refine your search to find people that you can send a connection request to. This is Todd Mitchell, and Todd is one of my clients. He's the CEO of R2 Solutions. So I could click on the connect button if I wanted to connect with him. I already am connected with him, but let's just see how this works. And so you can see I've got pre-written templates here. And these template is just a document, it's pre-written wording, and I'd be happy to send you my templates if you guys would like. Just connect with me and say, Terry, send me your social selling templates, and I'd be happy to send those to you. But the first step is you want to find people, then you want to send them a connection request. And you guys have probably gotten connection requests where they said, hey, Rich, I took a look at your profile, looks very interesting, let's get connected. And then Rich, that they never really looked at your profile, right? So what you want to do here is personalize the template. And I'd be happy to send these to you. But what you do is you find something of interest that you see in their profile. So maybe they both went to the same school you did. Maybe they're both, connected to Rich. We're both connected to Rich, et cetera. So, and reference that here in the blue. But so send them a connection request is really step 1 of the 4-step process. And then once they connect with you, again, no more than 15 minutes a day. Once you get all these, templates and you get the processes in place, it's really, really quick and simple to use. But once they connect with you, always send them a thank you note, right? And send them a thank you note. And you might want to send them a link to, the ties and t-shirts listing on Amazon, right? So they can pick up that book. So just send them a gift, send them something that they're going to, find a value and benefit from. So I like to always thank people for connecting with me, even if it's a shorter note. Then send them what I call a gift, something that's going to help them, something of value. And then lastly, what you want to do is you want to pick up the phone and call them, right? So just think about it. you've targeted them, you've done an advanced keyword search using Boolean operators, you're very focused, you sent them a personalized connection request, you sent them a thank you note with a gift. So when you call them, you can just reference, hey, Rich, this is Terry Sullivan. Just want to call to personally introduce myself and thank you for connecting with me on LinkedIn. I hope you like the, I wonder if you had a chance to look at, Ties and T-shirts. It's an amazing book. Just thought I'd call to personally introduce myself. How are you doing today? And you don't, that lead-in kind of verbiage that you use, you don't want to sell anything. If they think you're trying to sell something, they'll run from you. But just, just kind of introduce yourself, let them know how you guys know each other. And then, ask them a few questions about themselves, and then from there you can take over the conversation. You guys are communication experts, but give them a chance to ask you some questions. If you just talk, which is what a lot of people do when they're looking for jobs, the only thing that person's going to do on the other side is be thinking about what can they say to get you off the phone. Okay, so that's the social selling process. The last thing I just want to tell you is one of the ways you could measure your success on LinkedIn is by looking at your social selling index. And Edna, what that is you can go to linkedin.com, right, /sales, right, /SSI. And Gerald, this is a way of measuring, how effective are you being on LinkedIn? And you want to score in the mid 70s is what I would suggest, right? Somewhere in the mid 70s. And you can go there now. If you're logged into LinkedIn, open up another tab, and just go to linkedin.com /sales /SSI. And you can see my score is 81. But of the things that I showed you today, I told you, you guys need to develop a brand that tells people who you are, what you do, and how you can help. You need to come up with a connection strategy. So I told you about my 25, 15, and 10 social selling strategy. And you have to create insights, and build relationships. And that's all about that, posting a few times a day and just, 15 minutes a day. And if you do that, your score will double, in some cases triple. I was on a call this morning. Someone said, well, my score is 18. Well, there's a lot of room for improvement just by doing a few of the things that we talked about today. So check out your social selling index score and try to get that up. So here's what we talked. I know I'm right on the 1 hour mark here. I know I talk fast. Please connect with me on LinkedIn. We talked about search engine optimization. Make sure you max out your skills section with 50 terms, and make sure that you have a brand that tells people who you are, what you do, Lonnie, and how you can help at that branding headline at the very top of your profile. And then also you want to become an active LinkedIn user, Lisa. You want to make sure that you're using LinkedIn just 15 minutes a day. Like, comment, and share in 3 to 5 posts per day, during that 15 minutes. And then once a week, curate an article from off of LinkedIn. And then lastly, you want to implement my 25, 15, and 10 social selling strategy. So really, I know I covered a lot, and it's very late, and I'm sure you guys are very, very tired, but I appreciate you hanging in there. I'll take some more questions here, but connect with me on LinkedIn. And I've got some materials I'd be happy to send you, but please connect with me first. So just tell me what you need. So with that said, Allison, I'll see if there are any questions out there.
Yes, we have a couple in the chat. One is from Lisa, and she was asking, is the search, I think she was referencing the Boolean search, only available to paid LinkedIn subscriptions, or will it do it with the free account?
Yes, that great questions. Thank you for that question. So the Boolean searches are available in any version of LinkedIn that you use. When you start paying for like Sales Navigator, which is very expensive, it's like $860 a year or $840 a year. It kind of does the Boolean search process for you, so you can click on some things. But everything I've showed you today is with the free version of LinkedIn. And regarding the premium versus free version of LinkedIn, everything I showed you today is with the free version of LinkedIn. If you want some other bells and whistles, there's a business version. That's what the name of it is, and you basically get to stay in your existing LinkedIn profile and get some more functionality. If you want to really get into sales in a bigger way, there's Sales Navigator, which I train my clients on, and it's got a lot more features. You can tag prospects. It has a lot more bells and whistles, but it's very, very expensive.
Terry,
Okay.
let me interject real quick here.
Sure.
I'm sure I speak for the group. First of all, thank you so much for all this awesome information.
Oh, wow. Thanks.
But
Thank you.
But I also want to, I think the group would also like to get some of your templates.
Sure.
And why don't we, to try to kind of coagulate all of this, would it be feasible for you just to put a sample of, I know you have a million templates, but
Yeah.
if you could put together a little bank of templates for us, if you're willing to share that,
Yeah.
send them to Allison and she'll distribute. But that would be, I think
Oh.
everybody would like to have that, right, guys?
Okay, I'm getting a lot of thumbs up there. Well, that's a fantastic suggestion. Thank you. What I'll do, Allison, is it okay if I send you the templates and send you some of the documentation, then you can make it available to everybody?
Yes, I'll attach it to their replay of this video in the online training software.
Woohoo! All right, very good. So the deal is you guys have to connect with me so I can get to know you better, but I'll send all those documents over to Allison. And then again, if you guys have any questions, you can set up a meeting with me. Just go to speakwithterry.com and you can set up a meeting. I'll be happy to meet with you one-on-one, Zoom or over the phone, whatever. But great suggestion. And Allison, thanks for taking the lead on that. Thank you.
Yeah, I've got another question here from Susan asking if you have any tips for managing LinkedIn connection requests that we receive.
Woo, great question. Thank you. LinkedIn connection requests. So, it's really interesting because like my C-level professionals that I work with, they're always like, I'm not going to connect with anyone unless I know them personally and I've shaken their hand. Well, during COVID, good luck with that strategy, right? No one's shaking anybody's hands these days, at least I'm not. And so the whole idea is you want to connect with legitimate business people, all right? So here's what I'm going to show you. If I may, I'm just going to go to my profile here. So let's just say, let's see if I can find somebody. Let's just go to Christy. I'm already connected with her, but what you want to do is look to see, do they have a profile photo, right? And if they don't have a photo, I'm like, why are they trying to hide? Immediately, that's that could be a showstopper for me. The second thing I look at, number 2 out of 3, is do they have an about section that tells me a little bit more about them? That means, they've taken the time to really, we talk about that, write your summary in first person and, the unique sections, but do they have an about section? If they don't have a photo and they don't have an about section, I may not connect with them, but I'll give them one last chance. Like, let's say that Christy here did not have a photo or an about section, but we have 136 mutual level connections, and I look at them and I recognize a large portion of them, I will connect with her, right? So those are the 3 things I look for, because it's really interesting. You never really know who can help you. If you're going to try to connect with people who can help you, good luck with that. I do a lot of pro bono presentations to job seeking groups to help them. I'm a servant leader, and I love it. And then they always, I don't ask for anything in return, but then they always refer me to great people like Rich, right? So the other thing is, I want to tell you, let's just say that I've connected with Christy, and within 5 minutes, Susan, she has sent me a sales pitch. She's trying to sell me something, right, Jimmy? And so if that happens, I click on more. I did it today twice. I click on more and I go either unconnect with them, or if they really try to sell me right away, just because I connect with them doesn't give them license to sell me. So then I'll click on block and I will block them, right? And I unconnect or block and report probably 3 to 5 people a month. And the maximum number is 200. And then what I'll do after 6 months, I'll kind of clear those out and I'll forgive them and see if they want to come back and connect with me. So connect with legitimate business people. Figure out what that is for you. For me, it's do they have a photo, an about section, or mutual level connects? And if they try to sell you something right away, I would definitely unconnect with them or block them altogether. Fantastic questions. Thank you.
Any other questions?
Susan, Jimmy, you guys still, Edna, Lonnie, anybody? I'm seeing some smiles now. They're like, I survived this guy, right?
Great information.
Well,
Yes.
Thank you for hanging in there. And just to let you know, guys know, I do give a lot of presentations around the country via my office here in Flower Mound. So just go to buzzpro.com, click on my speaking tab. And if there's a presentation with a company you'd like to join me, you could be my guest, just reach out to me. and I will tell them to let you in, okay? But I would love to see you guys again. And I know I gave you a lot of information today, but the way I learn, I've got to hear it 2, 3, 4 times before it finally sticks. So I kind of threw a lot of stuff out at you there. My suggestion is pick 2 or 3 things that you think are really going to make a difference for you, Jenny, and focus on those. And then once you focus those, grab a couple others, right? But don't try to do it all. It's social media can be very overwhelming. Don't let it overwhelm you, man. Make it fun and just focus on a few things. And then reach out to myself. You can tell Rich is a big LinkedIn user on posting strategies. Reach out to him. He can help you as well. And Allison is, she's very, very good as well. So I think that's it, Allison.
Good. Well, Terry, thank you so much for your time
Thank you.
tonight. It was jam-packed with such great actionable information. I look forward to go and applying that. And I'm glad you didn't use my LinkedIn profile as an example tonight, because I need to go and spend some time on it. And now I know exactly what to do. So
Allison, you're
thank you
great.
so much.
Thank you, Allison. And then Allison, if you could just send me an email or connect with me on LinkedIn if you haven't already, and I'll send you those documents. And thank you, Rich. I want to thank you and Allison. Thank you so very much for inviting me. And I want to thank the team. Good luck to you guys. And please, let me know how I can help you. It's been such an honor to meet you and present today. Thank you.
Wonderful.
Thank you, Terry.
Thank you all very much for putting up with me, Gerald.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Terry.
Good job.
Thank you all. Bye now.